The siege of Sarajevo began in 1992, part of the wider Yugoslav wars. Life within the city became increasingly perilous, destroying lives and tearing families apart. During this period, a young couple navigated the dangers. Bosko Bjarkic, a 25-year-old Bosnian Serb, and Admira Ismic, a 25-year-old Bosniak Muslim, had been childhood sweethearts for 9 years. Their bond formed years earlier, having met at a New Year's Eve party when he was 15 and she was 16. Their relationship endured despite the growing ethnic conflict surrounding them. Unlike Shakespeare's famous tale, their love faced little opposition from their families. Both sets of parents were accepting, reflecting Sarajevo's long history as a cosmopolitan city where diverse peoples coexisted. As the siege intensified throughout 1992 and into 1993, conditions worsened dramatically. Many residents sought any means possible to flee the encircled city. Bosko's father had passed away, and his remaining family resided in Serbia. He possessed the opportunity to leave Sarajevo alone, given his background, but chose instead to remain with Admira. After enduring a full year under siege, the couple decided they had to attempt an escape together. Their plan involved reaching Bosko's family in Serbia. They pooled their resources, gathering money to arrange for safe passage. The agreement involved crossing the Miljacka River via the Vrbanja bridge into the Serb-held area of Grbavica. The bridge itself held somber significance. It was also known as the Sada and Olga Bridge, named after two early victims of the war, anti-war protesters killed on April 5, 1992. An understanding was purportedly reached among conflicting forces. At 5 in the afternoon on May 19, 1993, Bosko and Admira were supposed to cross the bridge without being fired upon. On that specific day, the couple felt a sense of hope as they prepared to leave. Around the agreed time, witnesses reported seeing a man and a woman approaching the bridge. As they set foot on the structure, a single shot rang out. Reports from various sides indicated the bullet struck Bosko Bjarkic, killing him almost instantly. Immediately following, another shot was heard. Admira screamed and fell, wounded but still alive. She managed to crawl to Bosko's side. There she embraced him. Accounts suggest she remained alive for at least 15 minutes before succumbing to her injuries beside him. An American journalist, Mark H. Milstein, was nearby that day. He later recounted events, noting small battles occurring near the Vrbanja bridge area. His attention was directed towards the far side of the bridge, where a young man and woman were moving quickly. Before action could be taken, both were struck down by gunfire. The question of who fired the fatal shots remains unresolved to this day. Responsibility was never definitively established. For 8 days, the bodies of Admira and Bosko lay entwined on the bridge. The area was considered a deadly no-man's land, part of Sniper Alley, and no one dared retrieve them. During this period, accusations flew between Serb and Bosnian forces over who was responsible for the killings. Eventually, under the cover of darkness, Serb forces recovered the couple's remains. It later emerged that Bosnian prisoners of war had been compelled to carry out the dangerous task. Bosko and Admira were initially buried in Lukavica. After the war concluded in 1996, Admira's parents requested the relocation of their remains. Both were exhumed and transferred to the Lav Cemetery in Sarajevo. There they were reburied together, side by side. Their story resonated deeply. The journalist Kurt Schork published an article for Reuters in May 1993 that brought international attention to their fate. Musicians also memorialized them. The Sarajevo group Zabranjeno Pusenj released a song titled Bosko I Admira, and Bill Madden composed another piece under the same name. Bosko's mother, Radmila, referred to the couple as a symbol of peace. For many in Bosnia, their shared life and tragic end stand as a poignant testament against the divisions fueled by war, embodying a hope for love's endurance. The prolonged presence of their bodies on the Vrbanja bridge, visible yet unreachable, became a stark testament to the brutality unfolding daily in Sarajevo. It underscored the paralysis and fear gripping the besieged city. Subsequently, their story, amplified by journalists like Schork, transcended the immediate conflict zone. Schork's reporting for Reuters powerfully conveyed the human tragedy, reaching a global audience and shaping international perception of the siege. His words painted a narrative of devotion tragically interrupted, transforming Bosko and Admira into emblems of love's persistence amidst ethnic hatred. They represented countless other personal tragedies, obscured by the larger scale of the war. While often compared to Shakespeare's doomed lovers, family members emphasized a key difference. Bosko and Admira's relationship had been embraced, not forbidden, highlighting that the conflict, not familial opposition, was the force that destroyed them. This acceptance reflected the pre-war reality of Sarajevo, a city celebrated for centuries as a place where different faiths and ethnicities mingled. Their bond was a continuation of that tradition, violently ended. In the years following the war, their shared grave in the Lav cemetery became a site of remembrance. It stands as a quiet monument to their personal love story and a symbol for the city's complex past. The songs and stories continue to be told, keeping their memory alive. For many within Bosnia and beyond, the account of Bosko and Admira serves as an enduring reminder of the human cost of conflict and the resilience of connection across imposed divides. Their narrative became a microcosm of the wider tragedy engulfing Sarajevo. Countless ordinary lives filled with personal histories and hopes for the future were extinguished by the conflict. The specific circumstances of their deaths on the bridge, a supposed safe passage turned deadly, highlighted the pervasive treachery and breakdown of agreements that characterized the siege. Trust evaporated in the face of relentless violence. Decades later, the question of who fired the fatal shots remains unanswered. This lack of resolution mirrors the broader difficulties in achieving full accountability for numerous wartime atrocities in the region. The Vrbanja bridge, the site of their final moments, carries a heavy weight. It was already named for earlier victims of the conflict, Sada and Olga, marking it as a place where hopes for peace had repeatedly been met with deadly force. As events unfolded after the war, efforts toward reconciliation in Bosnia and Herzegovina continued. The story of Bosko and Admira often surfaced in these discussions, serving as a shared point of grief and a reminder of what was lost. Their fate continues to resonate because it speaks directly to the destruction of Sarajevo's unique multi-ethnic character. Their love story, accepted by their families, represented the very social fabric the war sought to tear apart. In the ongoing process of rebuilding and remembrance, their names remain intertwined. Bosko Bjarkic and Admira Ismik endure not just as victims, but as potent symbols of love, loss, and the devastating human cost of war. Their legacy persists, woven into the fabric of Sarajevo's post-war identity. The narrative of their love endures as a powerful counterpoint to the nationalist ideologies that fueled the conflict. Before the siege descended, their life together was typical of many young Sarajevans. They navigated school, friendships, and the blossoming of a romance within a city known for its cultural intersections. Their relationship, spanning nearly a decade before their deaths, stood as a lived reality against the ethnic divisions later enforced by violence. It was a testament to personal connection transcending group identity. Subsequently, retelling their experience became a way for many to articulate the senselessness of the violence. It offered a human scale to the immense suffering caused by the siege. The Vrbanja bridge, stained by their final moments and those of Sada and Olga before them, remains a location imbued with sorrowful memory. It marks a crossing point not just over a river, but between peace and war, life and death. Through journalistic accounts, songs, and shared memory, the story of Bosko and Admira continues to echo. It speaks of a love that mirrored the city's blended heritage, tragically cut short but forever remembered.